Crypto market just got a huge bounce back from the moving average on a weekly chart. And especially if you look at Ether, that actually blew off today. 20% for a large cap asset like this, it's not a small deal. Look at the volume entering that space. It's actually massive. Now, is it just Ether which is doing that? No, you have other coins, whether that's on the mem coin side, whether that's on the smart contract side, you're watching that. Don't be surprised because, yes, the consensus was not there, but this is in the SI family few days back saying for Bonk, the mem coin side, watch for these targets. What happens? The price goes through those targets. Opportunities are there. The trouble is, the fear kind of engulfs a lot of it. Ether was showing us this. The number of days taken for the consolidations were getting congested. So there should have been a breakout, which would bring a huge boost to the market. Now, what kind of a boost? A breakout of this pattern above will bring what? A blow off move. SI family was well aware and educated about these opportunities. And if you look at the market right now, you see, that's true. This was all visible. But when it is happening and the price is like down, say now it's 71,000, people are optimistic, fear turned into greed. But when it was at 60, 61, 56, not a lot of people were looking at the possible range because it was here. We had the higher range. This was the breakout. This was the target. What happens? It goes up there. What happens? It grinds there. Even when the majority were saying, no, look for the downside, this is what the SI family was told. I'm still looking for the test of this zone. What happens? The price goes through. So if you look at a lot of different analysis which we have done, especially during these hard times when majority were getting frustrated, if you understood this well, you are now in a better position than majority in the crypto market. Welcome to the scientific investor family, where the normal retail guys get to learn how to become the next top 10% of this world. Remember, we've been going through this. I've shared my thought process about the BTC dominance 2-3 days back, saying I am becoming more optimistic. Now look at the market. Isn't that optimistic? But the trouble is, unless the numbers actually slowly start happening, majority won't believe. Now, even at this point, you'll only have a minority looking like, okay, that's reversal. Now, a lot of people will now look at the macro trend. That's where they miss that. Now, if you are just in the macro side of things and you're looking at some of these, say, ETC is like a large cap coin. That also started bouncing, and this week it's already up 20%. We had the calls, we were following it up. This was a clear signal. The accumulation range, this is why I say, guys, learn. If you are above the accumulation, you are retesting that, chances of a bounce is huge, which means once you're well educated about this scenario of money moving from the altcoin market to Bitcoin, you are out of the market. When that reverses, just like what you're watching here, money is moving from Bitcoin or more money is entering into the altcoin side, you jump onto this. Now, we were talking about this, right? So the SI family is not surprised. But the majority in the market is still looking at this and saying like, okay, what the hell is really happening? What can we really understand? That is where this chart comes into the picture. This is Ether on a weekly chart. It is showing you the fact that the RSI has been bouncing off the trend line from mid 2022. So say June, July 2022 till this point, you're watching the RSI on a weekly chart for Ether bouncing higher, bouncing higher, bouncing higher. So you look at the price, you can see that the moving average, the 21 moving average on a weekly for Ether is now support. Last time this happened, it was back in 2020, late 2020. From there, you had around a great blow off. The wave 2 just started there. Are we going to do that? There is a difference of opinion in the market, right? But again, think about this. When the majority, even the big accounts who I respect, were giving you the idea that no, this is about to drop back down, this is what the SI family was showed with a decent measured move. And I would say, 100% plus move is a decent move. Now you go look at the same market. Where the hell is that? It is not down. It's up 20% for the day. So that really was well corrected. Now, if you look at the price, the pattern, you're like, okay, that was a breakout. That's a retest. That's going to be a bounce. So the market and its structure gives you clear idea. Now, if I continue on showing you guys like different assets which we went through and show you guys in last 30 days saying this is a great buy, there's a lot of them. But the point is the SI family is on top of everything. 1,000 plus members are readily watching all of my posts about all these opportunities which you just saw here. Whether that's RSR, whether that's Bong, whether that's any asset I'm posting, especially with the macro, micro, educational content, they now know, okay, this is what I should be anticipating. When others were looking for the downside, they were looking for this, 70,000. Now, yes, it broke to the upside. The FOMO came in on the micro level. That is true. Now, what next is the biggest question, because saying I said you so now is easy. But when I say that, it's not. You can be proved wrong by the market. I mean, if you take 10 calls, at least 2 to 3 will go wrong for sure. But you want to make sure your average still lies at 70 to 80% correct calls, right? Why would you care about that? Because when the chart says you something, you listen. If you don't, then the market proves you wrong. Now, let's go back. This is Ether. Current price is 3,700. And the moving average on a weekly is 3,000. So you bounced off from there and you're already up like 20% just in a day. The week has just started. Now take this into the total altcoin market. So the chart you're watching is total altcoin market. We talked about the bullish checkmate pattern for few days. Now the trouble is the market just consolidated there for a few weeks. If you already watched at least last 5-6 videos, you already know this was one of the biggest possibilities in the market, the bullish checkmate pattern. Now that's the reality. When the price was still down, it had big trouble because a lot of people were still thinking the price is going to go down for another 10-20 days. Now, I would like to take you back into the momentum side for the altcoin market because I don't want you guys to miss the next big leg up. The market gives you clear examples. This is again the altcoin market, excluding Ether, on the 3-day chart using a Heikin-Ashi. So the moment you actually see the price breaking the moving average, I'm using a 21-day standard moving average. So the moment you see the price breaking the moving average to the upside and closing in green on a 3-day chart, how much odds are there for the fake out? Very little. You can ride this to the upside very decent. Even if you're trading, you have one trade here, consistent 2 green candles, you enter, you exit with a red. Perfect. That was a great ride. Next time, you got faked out here. The next time you enter, that was a very good ride. So if you take 10 trades this way, you have 80% hit rate on the positive side. Say you want to increase that. Just put that on the weekly, guys. But you need a ton of patience and you need to see a ton of volatility before you become successful. There would be a lot of different coins. Remember, the FTM, which we talked about. We were following that from the bottom, saying I'm doubling down there, I'm putting more dry powder in there. You guys saw that in the alerts. Now watch what's happening. Now that decision was not taken on a weekly chart. I agree. This is FTM on a weekly using Heikin-Ashi. It's bouncing off from the moving average. But my original decision came in because the price showed me that it is breaking above the daily moving average. Now, you go back in history, you see, okay, that was the right time when the FTM on a daily, based on the history of this asset, breaks through. That's what happened in Feb. You had retest, but that was okay. It was just a month of ride, and then boom. You go back in history, you see another time. This was the reason why I doubled down. That 30% which we took out when the Bitcoin was where 65,000 before the drop. Yeah, it dropped from 73 to 65. Then we took it off 30%. Then the price dropped from there to 56. Then after the consolidation, we put it back. That's why we are now riding that into the profit levels. Say you don't like that. You're not a Heikin-Ashi guy. You're more like the market structure, the pattern. What do you see here? FTM on a daily shows you a bull flag which has been already broken to the upside. What do you find when that happens? So for FTM on a daily, the measured move here is 70%, close to that, say 68.8 to be precise. You have a long way, and that's just one asset. Now turn on to Bitcoin here. This is Bitcoin on a 3-day chart. Bitcoin shows you what we've been talking for last 10-15 days consistently when the price was still at the bottom. The first daily candle close, when it came here, I told you, watch out guys. Most likely it's going to play out something like this because we have seen that before, didn't I? Now, the exact or almost close to that scenario is playing out in Bitcoin. Say the moving average on Bitcoin on a 3-day is 65,000. Now the price is 71,500. That's cool. Why? You're now there's a catch in it. This is Bitcoin chart on a 3-day. You put that RSI together. What do you see here? The RSI now stands at 66.97, which means the highs were 93.6. So you still have like a 30-40% right to the upside for the RSI to reach the top 40%. Whereas the price in Bitcoin terms is already at the all-time highs region. What does that mean? We are forming negative divergence, guys. We are forming negative divergence. What did I actually tell all of you guys when we were going up? I want to see the negative divergence coming with this leg up. Are we watching that now? That means great days ahead for the altcoin riders. The money is about to move in more and more and more into the altcoin market for sure. You'll have to look through payments. You'll have to look through smart contracts, the meme coins, the gaming, the infrastructure. I mean, there is a lot of different coins in this market. So make sure you understand what you're buying into, not just a random coin just because someone told you. There should be some developer activity. There should be volume. Some exchanges should have already listed it. If it's just 1 or 2 exchanges, there is a lot of liquidity trouble for you. You want to make sure you make it 10, 20, 30x, but you want to make sure you also take that money out of the market, not just watch that 10, 20x, right? If you're riding this, yeah, it goes up 10x, then come back down 60%, then goes up another 10x. This is how you compound. So it depends on what type of investor or trader you are. But in any case, the SI family is the only place in the crypto market where you get things to this level of accuracy. You can go back last 5 months, 6 months, 10 months, 12 months, 15 months, and look at all the calls we have posted. And then decide. Now, when you're in the market, the next question is, what about XRP, man? What about XRP? What you really want to see is this thing breaking and going up. But it has done nothing barely, right? When the Ether is up 20%, Bitcoin went up. This guy tried moving up, but it is still at a resistance and it is still below the moving average. So this is XRP chart I'm talking about. The price is 0.53 and it is below the 3-day moving average, 21-day moving average on a 3-day chart, which means you're still below that major resistance. Now, put it on a Heikin chart on a 3-day, on a daily, and see what we just talked about in other coins. Is that coming here? It is. That FTM scenario, it's coming here. The MACD is trying to cross to the upside. XRP, 3-day, The MACD is crossing to the upside. And 3-day candle, you already have 3 3-day candles in green. Chances are you may break this to the upside and go to 0.75, 0.9 range. I would really love to see this asset at least reaching that $1 mark when meme coins, smart contracts, gaming, all of them pop through the roof. But the trouble is, whenever Bitcoin kind of, runs up and this guy prepares to run, Bitcoin is like, no, I won't allow you to, and it drops. Now, what would you look at as a support for a retest? This is something which we have talked through this time. From March to this point, we talked about the exact same pattern. Now we got a breakout. Now, what kind of a structure do you have? One, the 2 is happening here, but the 2 shows 3 micro leg. So for that micro leg, I want to test back here. Maybe 67, maybe 69, wherever it is. A retest and a bounce for the 3rd leg up, which would be the 1, 2, 3. Maybe that's it. Why? The measured move here is 20. And if you put that 20% to the upside, and you see around 83,000, 84,000. So say a blow off can be 85,000. Trouble is, however, on a 3-day, you still have negative divergence forming. Price is going up, but someone is selling. Who the hell is selling? We don't know. Now, let's wait for a weekly to guide us. Weekly still shows massive divergence. See, this is Bitcoin chart on a weekly and the price shows you it's at 71,162, which is the highest candle close, not the wicks, the candle close. At that time, where the hell was the RSI? The RSI was still close to 90, 88, 90. Now, the RSI is at 71.9, say 72. Divergence. Someone is selling even though the price is going up. What the hell do they know which we don't? This is something you need to ask yourself. Yes, the people around the globe would say the ETF, the volume, the blah, 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 blah. But whichever exchange you want, put it on a weekly, put it on, last 10 years. Great. Now ask this question to yourself. All of that hype was there, but is the volume agreeing on that? I don't see that. That's last 10 years of volume going down. And that's Bitstamp. Now, if you don't like Bitstamp, go on to Binance. Now, look at the volume. Do you see any volume which is significant? I don't see that. So, any exchange you pick, it's almost similar to what we are talking. Some of them have a premium of $1,000 right now. So, that's how things are moving. In some area, people are so crazy, they want to buy these green candles, not position before the pump starts. This is why I say, watch, when it was at the 60,000, we still had the same calls. We were saying the exact same thing, guys. Watch, it may break higher. The measured move is this. This is the next level of resistance. I would be looking at this. I would still be looking at this, right, when the price was going up. Trouble is, not a lot of people want to buy at that support when it is showing you a reversal signal. You should be different. 90% don't make a lot of money or nothing, right? You should be on that 10% and if possible on the top 5%. How can you do that? That is one of the primary reasons why in the SI family we put that amount of educational content so that you don't misunderstand what the market is showing. When the structure changes, the new sentiment enters, ride with it. I mean, why would you go against it? This is something I've argued again and again and again. Now, here on a weekly chart of Bitcoin, look at this bounce off. When we created a bullish engulfing candle on Bitcoin weekly and closed that candle at 66,000, I told you guys just last week, just last Sunday, guys, watch. This is bullish. It just erased last 30 days of volatility in one candle. That looks bullish. This was my comment. Now look at where we are. We are testing the all-time highs range. Isn't that exciting? Now, there is another stupid possibility which I don't like, but the charts say that has a lot of possibilities, right? And that's this crazy part. Does that mean, now this is, I'm talking about the current consolidative distribution all the way back to the March 21 towards April-May 2021 consolidation. What happened there was the price dropped to 43 and went up to 64. So it still did a $20,000 move. Now, if you put that here, that's what? 76,000. Now, if you measure the move, which was 50%, and you would say, okay, that was at that price, this is at this price, I want to see the exact same percentage. Now, that's 85,000. So a lot of different indications are coming on top of Bitcoin saying, watch 82 to 85. If there is a blow off, maybe 86, maybe 87, I don't know. Maybe I'm 100% wrong. But these are the stuff which the market is showing you, not me, the market. Now, Ether is bouncing off first time above the moving average. Bitcoin is bouncing off the second time in this run up. Something to keep in mind. Last time in Feb 2023, the first bounce came in, and then in May 2023, you had the second bounce. Second bounce didn't actually make a lot of upside. It faded there as a consolidation. So that's why I'm like, okay, you guys have to look at both ends, and then now we'll take the Bitcoin dominance chart and then look at it. Same on a weekly. What do you see? The weekly is now almost erasing the last week's gain. I wanted to see this touching like 57, 58, but it's getting killed there. Now, what's great about this is that that's happening inside this pattern, which is a rising wedge. Rising wedge just break to the downside majority of the time. Say around 63, 64% of the time, that breaks to the downside. If that's true, as you zoom out on the Bitcoin dominance chart, you will see that the drop can be all the way back to 40%. That drop means crazy alt season. This is one of that example, which we have seen before, which is 2021. This is the next example, which we have seen in 2017. Yeah, the drop to the downside is reducing, but that doesn't mean altcoins are not going up. Yeah, you're not getting at 10,000x. Maybe you're going to watch 1,000x in small caps and maybe 50x in some large caps and 25x as an average. I would argue 25, 30x is a big money. If you've been here in the market for a long time, you've been accumulating, that's a big pot of money which you don't want to waste. And you are looking at the current affairs and you're saying, there is a trouble. If 12 out of biggest hedge funds in the world is entering this one, I'm like, there is something to watch, man. These guys really don't want you guys who bought in 5 years, 10 years before to be millionaires, billionaires. Do they? I don't think they want to. So now watch. When you see Renaissance Technology enter here, they are like the best traders of the world. You want to trade against them? I definitely don't want to. This is one of the reasons why we say watch these critical factors. And that's why the SI family stands to educate you and show you the breakouts, the opportunities, where I buy, where I sell, everything. And then we go through the one-on-one session. Why? so that I see what your portfolio has and what your expectation is. Some expect 10x, but their risk is like 10 times. So you are positioning your portfolio for 100x with 100x risk, but you only want 10. That's a wrong approach. If you don't want that, you need to balance it. That's why we go through the one-on-one sessions in that detail about your assets. If you want to get to that, use the link in the description below in YouTube or in the bio of Twitter. So guys, if you received value, smash that like button for me. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.